Alright, there goes the spinach. You know, that's proof of what exactly actually I was just gonna say. You know, I should have left it in my mouth. There's that little piece that's left. So in the name of making this video, you know, actually in honor of what I was gonna say, I'm gonna leave the little piece of shit in my teeth so that y'all can be reminded of you know, what this actually is about, and so that I can too while I'm watching myself talk, because I can see me. Now, just so you know, we're back. Popeyes, fucking spinach. I get down. So, you know, there's a reason why I eat Popeye spinach. I love the cartoon, and also, it actually makes you strong. No, actually, it's not just, well, Popeye spinach probably had a lot to do with it, but it's not actually all that makes you strong. Anyway, so this conversation is about a couple different subjects. The first one is going to be that I'm going to go in the opposite order of which I thought of them today, which is not, you know, really, I don't really preconceive most of these things. Most of the time I come to the camera and I kind of just lay it down as I'm getting it, because I have a problem fabricating things. I'm a horrible liar. I'm horrible at fabricating things that I say. The only thing I'm good at is kind of just being real about, you know, what it is that I go through on a day-to-day basis and what it is that I'm actually feeling. So, you know, in honor of that, I'm gonna kind of, yeah, I'm gonna try to look at the camera, because I have a habit of looking at myself when I'm doing this and not looking at the camera. So, okay, so the first subject is that I myself many times say shit without thinking about it. Now, I bring this up because I want to make it clear to you how useful it is sometimes just to shut up. Now, if you're like me, if you're anything like me, you know that you might have a tendency to talk too much. Now, I don't know why it is that I talk too much. I think part of it is that I am a type of person that speaks out loud their thoughts. I speak my thoughts out loud, and the fucking computer is like, I gotta fix the thing so that it stays lit. But I speak out loud a lot of times. I don't actually, let me put the camera here so you can actually, no, I like it better here. Anyway, I don't actually, you know, hold back what I think a lot. I just kind of let it come out of my mouth. A lot of times it's not bad for me, because I think that has made me into a better person, not trying to hide shit so much, because basically it's forced me to be good, because I've taught myself this habit of, you know, just speaking out loud kind of my thoughts, and then it's kind of like it'll either have one of two things will happen. If you have bad thoughts and they come out of your mouth, you know, somebody's going to get offended, or somebody's going to either tell you about it. So why and how did I come to this habit of just letting shit out? Well, I think it happened as I was growing up with my mom, because my mom, she is not that type of person. My mom, she is somebody who, actually, you know, that is exactly what she is, but in a way, she doesn't have, you know, any filter control. So, you know, a lot of times my mom will say things that's like she doesn't care, or then she'll try to lie. She doesn't realize how bad of a liar she is, so she'll try to lie, and then, you know, it just doesn't work. Now me, you know, I've grown my whole life trying to kind of like seeing her do this shit and trying the best I could to shape her a little bit into somebody who could think about what they said before they say it. No, you know, not actually what I've succeeded at, because she never really listened to me. But anyway, so I've noticed that I have this habit of saying things without realizing it, saying things without thinking about it, what I'm saying, and you know, seemingly thinking I know what I'm talking about. When in reality, I mean, you know, most of it is actually just it's actually just my opinions that are compiled off of largely analyzed pieces of information that are all compiled together in my head. And I mean, I don't, you know, it might make a complex way of sounding it out so that way, you know, it can seem logical maybe to me. Maybe to other people they just say to yourself, well, you just took a really long time to say that you speak your mind a lot. And I mean, that might be true. But, you know, I do quite a bit of analyzing too. And I'm very unbiased. I don't like biased people. I don't like people. I grow up, my mom kind of always was somebody who kind of would try to favor any kind of thing in her favor. And I mean, I guess maybe, I don't want to say I'm smart, but I was growing up, I was very witty and not, you know, very easy to I was very difficult, very hard to confuse. I've always been hard to confuse. I think that's just part of my nature. It's hard for a lot of people get frustrated with me because I'm so difficult to confuse. Now, I think a lot of people try to hide their confusion, and that's the difference between me and other people. Is when I'm confused about something, I'll just come out and I'll just kind of like be like, oh, no, hold on, wait, this is all wrong, and I'll just show you that I'm confused. But, you know, most of the time, that has kind of led me to the answers that I needed to learn shit. You know, so now very rarely I get confused by shit. Most of the time I'll find a way to figure shit out. Now, some people say, oh, I overthink things. But my opinion is that actually the world underthinks things. Because there's a lot of problems and a lot of, you know, there's a lot of dissatisfaction in the world. A lot of people that aren't happy with their lives. And, you know, they kind of, when it comes time to actually, you know, fix the problem or think out a solution, well, they just get kind of lazy and are just like, it's too, they're like, I don't got time for that. Like they're too good for it. Well, and then deep down, I'm looking at them like, man, inside you're just lazy. You just don't want to take the time to think, you know, and use your head to figure this shit out. Or you might know the solution already, and you just don't want to take responsibility to make a decisive action to actually influence the change, because you've decided that you don't feel like putting the effort in is worth anything. So, you know, some people might say I overthink things. Other times sometimes they might be right. And then other times, I just farted, by the way. And then other times, they, you know, I think in a lot of cases, people underthink things, where they just say, "Oh, man, nothing's ever going to change." No, you're right. Nothing is ever going to change if you don't change it yourself. Now, how did I get on this subject of I don't think about what I say before I say it? Or sometimes I say things, I talk too much, or I overthink things. Well, I've learned now that being the smartest person in the room, or being the least, let's say, not even being the smartest person in the room, but being the person in the room that openly knows what's going on is not always the most logical option. Because sometimes, if you know what's going on too much, and you understand things better than somebody who's spent a long, long time trying to understand what it is you're trying to understand in a very short time, you will offend that person, because they will feel belittled by you, because they'll look at you and say, they'll kind of get pissed in their head, and they'll be like, I spent my whole fucking life doing this shit, and this fuckface thinks he knows what he's talking about, and really, you actually might know what you're talking about. Matter of fact, you might not mean to offend that person, okay? You might know what you're talking about, but guess what? You just did. You just pissed somebody off because you actually have the ability to learn shit quicker, and you may have picked up on something much faster and understood it much faster than they ever did, but they spent much more time, so sometimes being the person that learns the quickest is something that you might want to keep a secret, and you might kind of want to, quote unquote, play dumb, because not because you are dumb, or you should not be proud, or you should not be satisfied and happy about being somebody who can learn things quickly, but rather you should be somebody. You should it's kind of smarter to you might unknowingly offend somebody who spent their whole life trying to learn something that you just learned in fucking a short period of time. Now, my suggestion to you is, if you have to play dumb, if you see somebody who's there are some people that will understand this and embrace it because they're everything learners like you are. You might be somebody that, if you like watching me and listening to me talking, chances are you're an everything learner. You're somebody that loves to learn everything. That's a kind of trait. You enjoy taking information in. That's a kind of trait that you can see in other people. If you don't see that in other people, okay, or if you're around somebody per se, like let's say your boss or somebody that you not have to be around, but somebody that you want to be around for a certain reason, you want to learn something, and it's hard for me to look right at the camera. You want to learn something. You want to be around this person for whatever reason. God God, I can't do it. I gotta get a camera that's like directly in the center of my screen so I can, like, look at here, fix it. Boom, that works. Or does this work better? That, it doesn't even work. No matter what angle I turn this thing at, that's probably the best angle. Because then my lazy eye kind of lines up with my stoner eye kind of lines up with the camera and is like looking at you. So I'll keep it like that. Hobo face. Anyway, thought I just heard somebody outside. Probably did. But anyhow, so if you are an everything learner and you see that trait in somebody who's older than you, somebody that you might want to learn from, you might want to make a mentor of sorts, you can be free to kind of like spout, your thoughts. But if you are around someone who does not have that same like love for knowledge as you have, or the same aptitude, it's hard to say like that because it makes us seem unequal. And in reality, we're all worth loving. Doesn't matter whether or not you're, white, black, Indian, French, Doesn't matter, really. You're worth just as much love as everybody else. But often aptitude indifferences can cause us to feel inferior to one another. So, inferior or even worse, superior. When that to me is worse than a person who feels inferior. A person who feels inferior, that can be fixed. That can be solved. Matter of factly, feelings of inferiority can often stem and can often either stem or I'm sorry. Feelings of inferiority can often escalate into feelings of superiority because a false, and that is the worst thing that can happen, is when somebody, because they feel like other people are smarter than they are, or they feel, not even that they feel that, but they feel inferior inside. They don't admit it outwardly, but it's an inward kind of silenced feeling that they have. Then that can turn and snowball into this false sense of superiority, which is really bad. That's something that can destroy a person's life. That's something that can destroy a person's life and destroy all of their ability to make genuine relationships with other people. Because, once they get in the habit of, basically what happens is, let's say this person, they have a lower aptitude. And by lower aptitude, I mean it takes them longer to learn things and figure it out than other people do. Now, oftentimes in life, not everyone is as understanding and, has this kind of like neutral way of thinking as, I'm trying the best I can to portray to you. What'll happen is, throughout life they'll have experiences where other people, may learn things more quickly than they do, may, acquire skills and talents more quickly than they do, may, learn, kind of like figure things out and, make money faster, make more money, whatever it is that that people are, that whatever their goals are, they might achieve them faster, they might, exemplify kind of traits of having more ease of doing things than someone else because of, you know, different aptitude levels, which could be genetic and could be a result of, you know, growing up a certain way or being raised or taught a certain way, lack of education, you know, having education, whatever it is that causes these differences in aptitude. You know, some people in life will have, you know, the people with this kind of, like, let's say per se, not lower aptitude, but, you know, different levels of aptitude indifferences will clash together, and eventually what will happen is, you know, you'll have, you know, some kind of little scuffle of mental ability between, you know, these people throughout their life. Now, some people with lower aptitude will eventually develop feelings, not even if they have lower aptitude, but we all have things that we will learn more quickly than others, and we all have things that will take us longer to learn than others. You know, and these different aptitude traits, you know, will sometimes lead to feelings of indifferent, or feelings of you know, difference amongst these people, you know, or feelings of, like, you know, kind of like, how am I trying to say this? Some people will feel inferior, and other people won't care. Like, I'm one of those people that doesn't care. I don't give a fuck. Not because I you know, for whatever reason, this is how I am, this is how I was born. I was born kind of not to give a fuck what other people thought about me. Now, it's just I was born that way, but I was raised with circumstances that created me. You know, in order for me to live a happy and peaceful life, I kind of trained myself to live almost without emotion, which led to more happiness for me in the long run. I kind of held back from, you know, seeking this happy feeling, and I more or less kind of, like, you know, grew up and said to myself, you know, because of what I seen going on around me, I kind of, you know, decided that happiness wasn't what I wanted. It was clarity. I wanted to know what was actually happening, you know, and for me, that's created this kind of neutral standpoint in life where I can look at some people and say, you know, oh, this is why you think the way you think. And, you know, I can look at other people and say, oh, this is why you think the way you think. And, you know, and I can kind of break people apart a little bit and analyze them. Now, a lot of people are not comfortable with this. I will never use that against somebody. Even my own enemies. That's a philosophy thing for me. It's a morality thing for me. It's not that's a choice. You know, that's not a matter of, like, you know, for me, it's the biggest, strongest man is the man who sees somebody else who's acting a fool and kind of looks at that guy, and even if sees, the biggest man is the man who has wrong done to him and forgives. That is the biggest man in the world. Okay? That's the strongest man in the world. The most, and you know, Jesus is a perfect example of this, but I'm not going to sit here and preach about, you know, who's more noble or heroic or honorable than another person, because that's up to you to decide what you believe. Now, me personally, I believe that's my belief. That's my personal morality choice, is to say the strongest man is the man who sees, you know, kind of has injustice done to him and kind of, you know, it forgives. You know, so because that's very difficult to do. That's you are kind of breaking all the you're breaking all the barriers at that point. You're like, you know, you have the barrier of you're hurt, you have wrong being done to you, and you've seen injustice, you know, and all of these things, and then what do? You choose, you know, you make the hard choice. That's hard, you know, you've done the most difficult thing. You've forgiven your enemy, you've not only forgiven your enemy, but you've also, you know, whatever. So the neutral standpoint is the idea I'm talking about here. What that does is actually gives you an ability to really break people apart and break them down. And it actually, in life, it pays back more than it costs. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, that must suck. That must suck. You know, forgive him. I just farted again. By the way, you know, I'm one of the happiest people, you know, kind of, I feel like I see on a regular basis. I feel happier and more satisfied with life than a lot of other people that I see, and I have way less shit and way less problems and responsibilities. And you know, it's not because I made, there's a lot of choices that I made that were sorry, you know, whatever. It's thank Jesus that you know, I decided to play the neutral role and not care too much about seeking happiness. And look what it kind of, you know, led me to. What it led me to is, you know, not chasing a feeling of being superior or inferior or having a standpoint in this world. No, I'd follow my own path, and I kind of just make very simple decisions of what I want to do, and how I'm going to achieve it. You know, and why. And what I like, you know, and if I don't, not that I don't like something, but I don't like something, I might, you know, I might not mess around with it, or I might, you know, not pay much attention to it or whatever, but if other people do that, I'm fine, that's cool, nothing against them, you know, you choose your way, I choose mine, I'm neutral, you know what I mean, neutral path, not this way, not that way, I don't care too much what other people do, I don't care, you know, really what they do, even if they do shit to me, I'm kind of like, I kind of understand, because I'm like, yeah, you know what, I know why you think that way, because I've kind of been playing this neutral standpoint and looking at people and kind of figuring them out, and, you know, I kind of figured out, I kind of understand that there's probably more I know about you than you even know about yourself. So I'm going to forgive you, because you're basically an idiot if you fucked me. You know, you fuck me, I'm going to let you go, because you're a dumbass. And the reason why, I mean, I'm kind of going to call you a dumbass because it's the truth, you know, but in the deep down breakdown of things, you know, you really are a dumbass, so I can't blame you for being a dumbass. I got to be like, you know, you think that way because you've spent your whole life chasing a feeling of being, you know, better than somebody else, or you've been chasing this feeling of trying to feel satisfied with yourself, which you still haven't achieved yet. So in all reality, I'm probably more happier than you are with my own life, and even though you fucked me, because whatever, you kind of probably, you don't even yourself, you did it thinking you knew what you were doing, and I probably actually knew more about what you were doing than you even fucking did, because you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing, and you're still trying to figure out your life yourself, so go figure it the fuck out. And good riddance to you, I forgive you, that's my responsibility as a guy, because I know what actually happened, you know, and the only time you get mad back at somebody is when you can't figure out what the fuck happened. You know, you're like, you don't know why that person did, like, you're like, a person who gets shit and then hands more shit back is like, it's like you just another person bringing more shit into the world. You know? You know, the world is a place full of like there's a billion people now. There could be a billion cool people and a billion assholes. Well, I guess I'll be one of the cool people. So, anyway, the point here is back up. Talk too much, say too much. Now, aptitude indifferences. Where does it stand as far as aptitude goes? Now, there's this thing that happens, like I said. Some people with a kind of lower aptitude takes longer to learn things. You know, over time, they might develop feelings of inferiority, okay? Now, these feelings that they develop of inferiority are a result of different occurrences that happen in their life, you know, as a result of them not understanding something and seeing other people that might understand it better than they are, or they don't understand why they do, and they might think in their head, they could create 100 reasons why they think it's a lie that other people understand things that they understand, or they think that, you know, it's not true, or they create. So how did I get on this? It's useful for, you know, you to understand this, because if you're a person that enjoys learning and enjoys taking in knowledge and bettering yourself, trying to become the most strategic person that you can be in life, trying to achieve, you know, these big dreams, these big goals, you know, you're somebody that, you know, you might unintentionally, you might do the same thing I did, and I'm starting to figure out now, which, me being honest, like I told you, I'm a bad liar. It's hard for me to create and fabricate things. The best thing I can do is just keep it up front with you, keep it real. You know, this is something that I go through sometimes, where people are like, you talk too much, or you, you know, you are annoying, or you think you're a know-it-all, or you think you're narcissistic, or you, you know, you're a narcissist, or you're, you know, you know, they're trying to take, and really what it is this person is offended with you. They themselves feel belittled. They themselves feel that you are trying to, you know, be bigger than them. These feelings that they have inside of them mostly stem from feelings of inferiority. It could have happened as a result of you having a higher aptitude level and ability to learn things more quickly than they did. You're trying to share information with them. They might not be picking up what you're putting down, or they're just totally focused on the fact that you're telling them something that they might already know, or they might not already know, but regardless, it's the fact that you're telling them something. You're someone who's younger than them. You're somebody who's, you know, you're, even though you might be just trying to share something with them, you know, you're talking, you know, like you know shit, and even if, like, it doesn't, I've noticed this happens, because there are things that I can say to myself, yeah, this is concrete, I actually, you know, have studied this, I know this, you know, this is, you know, proven facts, this is all, you know, stuff that I am experienced with, you know. Let me think of an example for you, because this is a perfect time to give an example. Okay, for instance, relationships. You know, I've seen my own mother, you know, go at another person that she was in a relationship, and, you know, be very expecting and very, you know, feeling is the sense of entitlement, and I'm better than you, and not even I'm better, sorry, I'm like, sorry, she feeling the sense of like she's deserves to be treated as a, like, as if she's someone who's, you know, to be pampered at, like, you know, and I, like, listen, I love my mom, and she deserves to be treated well, but, you know, when you expect it, and then you don't, like, so I might say to her, you know, hey, Mom, you know what, you're not going to have success that way, because in my life I've seen, you know, a billion relationships. I've seen ones that were successful, I've seen ones that weren't successful, and I said, you know, hey, Mom, you know, this or that, you know, you might, and just the fact that I in my head, in my heart, really wanting to help her, and wanting her to see, you know, hey, maybe I'll do better if I you know, try to be on the same level as this person, and give and take a little bit. And I mean, you know, because I've seen this other guy, you know, give her gifts, give her things, and then, you know, she kind of started expecting it, like it was like a thing that she was entitled to, and you know, it was causing, you know, tension and anxiety, and he was being very kind of, so really, you know, the relationship failed eventually, and, you know, I knew that was going to happen, and I was just a young kid, you know, at that time. But growing up, kind of, maybe that's what stemmed to me having one of these talents of being neutral zone, is, you know, having my mom be somebody who that throughout my life, I've kind of analyzed and examined and watched, and seeing, trying to, her always not like being willing to listen to anything that I have to say. So really, it kind of made me stronger as a guy, young guy, because I kind of like figured out, all right, you can't get mad at this, and she as a person, sometimes I've wondered in my head if she pushed me as hard as she could, possibly, through all of the paces of going through some really like difficult situations. She's made it very difficult for me in many different ways, and to this day she still does. But personally, it has forced me to learn how to be somebody who's very easily or very difficult to offend, be somebody who is very difficult to lash out at another person, be somebody who can analyze another person and understand them very easily, be somebody. And I part of this, I think, was she was put, I wondered a lot of times in my life if she was putting me through these paces as a way of trying to make me into a better man. Because growing up with a single mom, there's a lot of things that I learned from, my dad that I learned that I didn't want to be like, and not just him, but it was also from my mom too. And part of me wondered, as good of a mom as she was, and as much as she loved me, is if she would cause this pain to me in like unintentionally, not knowing what she was doing, or if in her head she was just hard fucking core to me, and like not even hardcore to me, but she was just hard fucking core in general to get along with, because she wanted to make me somebody who was impervious to bullshit. So if that's what it was, Mom, and I even to this day, as hard as you make it for me to fucking get through to you, and not just that, but I don't know if you sabotage these relationships on purpose. If to this day I couldn't, I cannot give my mom advice. She won't take it from me. What I want y'all to know is that, this relationship, inferiority, superiority, ratios, aptitude, whole situation exists among all human beings. And no matter what relationship you have with somebody, at some point this is going to come into play. Now, the way I see it is I'm still learning. I'm a student of life, okay? I am an everything learner. These are phrases that I would like for you to adopt for yourself. You are somebody that wants to do the best you can to do what's right in front of you, and kind of take in, everything that you can. Now I'm not trying to overload you. I'm giving you too much. Sorry. Forget the whole do what's right in front of you thing. We'll go back to that later. That's a whole nother story for another subject. So, one thing I've noticed is I am one of the happiest people I know, and I don't have that much shit. Matter of fact, as you can see, I'm here in, my camper that somebody kind of like basically gave to me. Eddie damn near gave me this shit. And I mean, in many situations before, I've met other people who were very like high aptitude, and they seem like these are very successful people who have businesses, people who have, resource centers, people who have had success and hold big families and have like giant Thanksgivings and stuff, and they're awesome people, worth hanging around, to me, at least, because I can learn shit from them. But What do I say? How do I say this? These people. God, I just lost track of where I was going. See, I'm just as human as everybody else. I am a human being, like I said to you. It's hard for me to fabricate shit. This whole aptitude relationship thing is going to come into play for you, no matter where you stand in life with whoever it is that you stand with. What I've noticed is that I am one of the happiest people, even with less shit. One thing. The reason why I bring this up is to kind of make you bring it into perspective. You as a person may have the ability to pick things up quickly and easily. You might have dreams, you might have goals. Other people may see that. Don't let them. One thing I would recommend, don't let them. This is one key thing I want you to remember. Don't let them take you down. Don't let them trick you into lowering your confusion. If you let them confuse you, I mean, this basically means like your aptitude is a certain level. You pick things up quickly. If they become offended and they start to put you down, okay, they start to say, you talk too much, you do this, you do that. What I want you to do is I want you to take all that in. I want you to examine it, okay, and I want you to say to yourself, why is this person saying this to me? Okay, I want you to ask yourself that question. I want you to ask yourself that question a lot of times. I want you to say to yourself, why? Why is this person asking me that? Why is this person telling me I talk too much? Think about shit. I want you to question things more than you just take something in and it's concrete. Somebody says to you, fuck you. I want you to say, why? I don't want you to be like, fuck you too, dude. Because that fuck you instantly means like, you took in their fuck you and then you just believed that you're a shitty person instantly. Like you just lowered your aptitude by doing that. Because aptitude is the willingness to process things in the mind. If the more willingness you have to process things, then the more that's why some people say, oh, you think too much. And no, I think that's bullshit. I think you should think as much as you can. Matter of fact, I think you push your mind to think more and more so that way you can be sharper than all the rest. Now, obviously, there's always going to be one knife out there in the block that's sharper than you are. There's always going to be somebody out there that's seasoned and has experience and is smart too. But the point is sharpen yourself as much as you can be sharp, because then that means you'll be slicing through everything that you hit, and that's what you want. So, when people, talk shit to you, when people say things that hurt you, when people say things about you that you don't understand, I want you to question them. I want you to ask yourself why. I want you to say to yourself, okay, are some of these things true? Are there valid reasons about what this person is saying to me? If so, you might want to, reevaluate how you're doing things and try to improve it. Always look for ways to improve. Always look for ways to, do everything you can possibly, okay, to make yourself as sharp of a knife as you can be, so or to make yourself quicker, so that way you can walk into any situation and dominate that shit. You're ninja fucking warrior. You hit the the things they got to jump across, and you go right across them. You hit the next obstacle, and you run up that wall and you get up on top of it. You get to the rope, and you're strong. You climb the rope. It takes time, takes practice, takes experience, takes falling down. It takes failure, it takes being willing to take criticism, willing to hear shit from other people who might not even be as smart as you, and even take that in and say, and why, and process it. Aptitude, increase your aptitude. It's all an aptitude challenge. Really, succeeding, it really leads to you being more successful at whatever it is you're trying to do. Now, for me, my natural love and talent is going to be art, music, creativity, some business, and mostly event-related things where I get to go out and meet with a bunch of people and make something happen. That's, my interest. Now, part of me succeeding in that is going to be, increasing my aptitude. Now that has been a goal of mine for a long time, maybe my whole life. Maybe because my mother has always challenged my aptitude, and she even oh man, if she did this on purpose, she's smart. She's a smart woman. I do believe my mother is a smart woman. But at the same time, I've seen her do a lot of things that were contrary to her own goals. So it made me kind of loving her so much, and wanting to, kind of, serve her back. Not serve her back, but basically wanting to kind of like watch my mom's back. I had to make sure she was watching her own back. Because if she was doing things against her own, goals, then to me I was like, yo, this is backwards, Mom. I'm trying to fix somebody especially somebody that's way older than you and is also your parent. God, that is hard, and it's a huge challenge, and that person will fight you, and if you love them, you'll just keep trying, and for me, that kind of is what it was. Now I look back on it and I say, damn, dude, my mom was like, raising a Spartan warrior, beat the kid, when he's like beat him as much as possible, fuck him up, and give him as much problems as you can, make it as hard as make him have to fight for everything. And I mean, having to fight for everything will teach you to, number one, hate fighting. Number two, it will teach you how to learn how to deal with anxiety and how to rationalize things. And number three, it will force you to increase your aptitude and get smarter. My mom was, this is Sparta. My mom, I don't know if that's just how it is, or that's just how Italians do it, or that's just how, Roman warriors do it, or whatever. But, for me, growing up, I guess that was kind of, now I'm looking back on it and I'm saying to myself, damn, she, if she didn't do it on purpose, I'm still not going to stop trying to make my mom see the things that she does that, I hope, in all honesty, I hope that my mom, doesn't, treat, but in one way, dude, she does. There are many ways that she mistreats people, and I don't like it, personally. But, who can I change but myself to be as best of a person as I can be? Now, aside from talking to my mom, who at many times throughout my life she's frustrated me, but I still love her. This talk is about you and I and me. Now, really, what I want you to understand is that throughout life, you are going to have these different situations where you as a person are going to, unintentionally offend people. You are going to, basically, you know, you're going to say things without thinking about them. That's not a mistake, but it's just part of being human. You know, you are going to question your own sanity, kind of. You're going to question your own way of thinking. You know, sometimes, and say, you know, what you're going to doubt yourself. What I want you not to do is I don't want you to ever give up and let somebody else make you think you're stupid. You're not stupid at all. No one, okay, in any way, shape, or form I don't like that word. You know, no one is stupid. Okay, some people just need to learn one thing, and some people just need to learn something else. We all have some things we're good at, and other things we're not good at. We have these different, like, you know, things that we have skills at. You know, we're all unique. So, you know, the point is, you know, throughout life, you may have times where, you know, people become frustrated with you, you know, and other times where other people see, you know, the drive in you and love it. You know, in my case, you know, I'm in a random place in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I'm at. Met some people, really loved me and appreciated me for who I was, and, you know, I mean, so much so that they gave me a free place to live. You know, basically look out for me, brought me food, treated me like their own. You know, and you know, not only is that, you know, because of it's good. It's let me put it like this. It's 100% good-heartedness and blessings. Because if it wasn't for love, you know, I gotta give it up for Jesus. Okay, if it wasn't for love, not only coming from me, but reciprocal love. You know, coming from one direction and other, two-way love, two-way street love. You know, two-lane love. That's another one I want you to remember. Two-lane love. Okay, if you give love, you'll get it back eventually. You'll get two-lane love. Two-lane love is when you're doing the best you can. That's the rule, the major rule. I think I'm doing this backwards. All the major shit is gonna come at the end right here, and then all the, you know, kind of little detailed tidbits led up to it, because you're watching me learn. Okay, I'm keeping it real with you. You know, you if you're following me on this journey, you're finding out a lot of different things as I'm finding them out, kind of too. Because, you know, I haven't been videoing myself, you know, I haven't been able to show you this years before. So throughout my life up until now, you know, now I might be making it look kind of easy. You know, it believe me, you know, it didn't just all come to me like that, like instantly. You know, it took a lot of time and learning. It took my whole life, you know. Just now I started videoing myself because I kind of, you know, copycatted, you know, Ty Lopez, or kind of looked at what he was doing, and I said to myself, hey, you know what, maybe there's, you know, some use in doing what this guy's doing, he's doing. But for me, you know, I'm learning now that, you know, my use to people is different. You know, my use to people is a different, totally different use. You know, so you know, me personally, I might be able to teach you about dealing with people, psychology. You know, I might be able to teach you about, you know, being someone who overcomes great obstacles. You know, being somebody who overcomes, you know, homelessness, like really from the bottom levels. You know, I might be able to be somebody who can teach you how to overcome drug addiction. You know, these are things that I've dealt with before. You know, I might be able to teach you, you know, the principles of, you know, how to pursue something that you really, truly, or wholeheartedly about, you know. But I mean, like, you know, really, you know, I'm limited too to what I can offer. You know, I'm not, you know, even as you know, as cultured as he is, because he has, you know, he had this kind of idea. Let me take all these books and all this info from a bunch of other people and kind of like share it with you, you know. And that was you know, that's definitely part of. He's a little bit older. He's got more experience in business. You know, he's somebody that you know, kind of, you know, has more of a, you know, ability to show you things about making money. You know, I might be able to show you things about understanding yourself and understanding, you know, what finding happiness in ways that don't take money, you know, or finding happiness in, you know, in like, we're finding ways to actually, I could show you a lot of ways to get shit. I could show you a lot of ways to get shit that you want without spending a lot of money. Like, obviously, I fucking can do that. You know, I've believe me, if you ask my friend base, there's a lot of shit that I've acquired throughout life that has made them look at me like, how the fuck did he get this? This is the same kid that I seen living on the street. Now he's driving a fucking Audi. You know, how he's, wait a second, hold on, wait, you just had 3 fucking dirt, where did you get those 3 dirt bikes from? And I didn't steal them. No, it's called being resourceful. You know, find something somewhere that's broken, cheap, fix it up. You know, or find something that's, you know, that's kind of been, you know, one of my things. My grandma taught me, be crafty, you know, and be, you know, be somebody who's resourceful, you know, be somebody who like, and, you know, you'll find a lot of happiness out of that too. There's a lot of joy that, you know, it'll bring you to get something that's not so great and make it your own, you know, that make it great, you know, make it something unique, especially. You know, and then if you get money behind you, like, let's say if somebody put money behind me, I bet you I could make a lot of, you know, really seriously crazy, interesting things that no one would expect. And I mean, not that they would be weird or anything. They would actually probably be, like, sick. Like, rich fuckers would get jealous looking at me in riding in some of the whips that I would design. Or, you know, rich fuckers would get jealous, kind of like, you know, knowing, like, seeing me, like, you know, or hear, like, if I had, like, funding to make them, to be able to sit down and actually make, you know, the music that I want to make, you know, these fucking artists out here that think that they really, you know, got game. Alright, you want to hear some shit, man, I got, if it's ideas that you're looking for and creativity, you know, it's not that I'm trying to be, you know, I'm just saying, like, sometimes there's a whole lot more to learning. The point is to say, you'll get more joy out of finding something that's less, okay? Starting out with something that you know, might be only what you can get. You know, get what you can get and make it great. You know, that's an idea, you know, for you. And I found a lot of happiness, like, and not only that, but if you try hard enough, you'll figure out ways to actually get better things and the same things and better things than you know, people that have, you know, money and just buy shit and just don't have any effort put into it. You know, or, you know, you be more, it increases your aptitude. You increase your own aptitude. You increase your willingness to cook things over in your head and think. You know, you really increase your potential no matter what medium you're working with. You know, like, the guy who knows how to make the awesome clay figure is the guy who plays with the clay more. You know, not you through trial and error, through learning things and you know, through, you know, walking and falling or trying to stand, fall, learning how to stand up. You know, if you were just dropped into the world knowing how to walk, it would kind of be like when you how do I say it? It's not, that's the wrong shit to say. Through through having to struggle, you know, it will increase you will have the opportunities to work with the clay. You know, if you don't have to struggle and you just get the clay figure handed to you, it's just like, hey, I got a clay figure, and you're just a guy holding a clay figure. You know, you're not a clay shaping master. You know, but if you are the guy that doesn't know shit or doesn't have, and they just throw the piece of dirt at you, and you're like, you just play with it in your hands until till the water comes out, and you get the dirt kind of out of it, and it kind of starts to form into a piece of clay, and then you figure out no matter where you go, then first, now you got this skill, you can go no matter where you go, you can pick dirt up, and now you can squeeze the water out, and you can form it into clay. Okay. Then secondly, then, you know, once you start, you're playing with the clay, you're squeezing it, you're getting the water out, you're getting the dirt out, you're forming it into a piece of clay. Then you start to shape it into a person, into a figure, you know, and that is that's the point where, you know, you start to build the talent to shape the clay, you know, and then you're starting to shape the clay. So, you know, you have acquired another skill. You learn how to shape the clay. So you had to work hard. You know, you had to spend the time. It might have been shitty. Your hands might have got dirty. You might have been playing with the clay. You might have been whatever, shaping it into a guy. Your guy might not have looked that great the first couple times, but the more you do it, the more you play with the clay, the more you work shit over in your head, the more you increase your aptitude, the more you spend time struggling, the more you spend time, putting effort in, putting time in, try, don't give up. Remember I told you, don't give up. That's one of the main things. Never surrender, never give up, like they said in Galaxy Quest. Anyway, so you're shaping the clay, you're learning how to fuck with it, okay? Now you're getting a talent for making these figurines. Okay, now you start to get good at it. Okay, it gets a little easier. Now you're level 3. You're starting to like shape the clay into clay figurines. Now, once you start doing that, you can start giving those clay figurines away to people, and they're gonna be like, damn, these are cool, and then one of the fucking guys that just gets a clay figurine, holds it, and is like, hey, I'm holding a clay figurine. He's like fucking pays you or some shit. That the rich person pays you for that. Because they get shit just handed to them, whatever, but you're the guy that fucking shapes it. You're the guy that knows it. No matter where, then you have level 3 talent on that shit. Now, you can choose to keep going. You can move on to something better. Now you can start, now you got money. You can, instead of shaping clay figurines out of fucking dirt, you can, you can start, playing with the chip, the axe, and the chisel, and now you can start, you got some money, so you can go buy a piece of rock. Now you go get a piece of rock, not like crack rock or anything, because, dude, fuck all that propaganda. That's just, like, whatever. I'm going to talk about crack, people in crack. What does crack do for a fucking community? Why don't you think about that? No, it's not that hard to figure out. Anyway, so get on to the rock part. This is a rock. Now you're starting to chisel away with the rock. Same thing. Trial and error. Okay? The willingness to put in the work, the effort, the willingness to put in the time to create, to increasing the aptitude. Okay? Now you're chiseling away at rock. Now your first couple of rock figurines, you understand how this goes on now. Okay? You start out just picking up dirt in your hands. You're the guy that gets the dirt thrown at you, and it hits you in the face, and then you like wipe it off your face and pick it up off the ground. You squeeze it in your hands until you form some clay. The water comes out and dirt starts to fall away, and you get some clay, and then eventually you figure out how to shape it into a ball person, and you start to make figurines with it. Then people start buying your figurines. Now you got the rock. You're moving up. Okay, no matter where you go in the world now, you have that talent. You can just pick up dirt wherever you go and make it into a clay figurine. Just like now, no matter where I go in the world, I know I've acquired the talent at least that I can go wherever I want in the world, basically, and talk to people, learn from them, talk to them, show them the talent that I have, the willingness I have to do things, put forth my effort, my time, show them my aptitude that I've gained through this life experience. And essentially what happens is that now no matter where I go, I can pick dirt up and shape it into a clay figurine, and that is what has created the foundation. What has created the foundation for me being able to go basically anywhere and stay alive. Now my next step is to grab the rock, okay, and the chisel and the hammer, and start engineering something else. Start chiseling away, increasing the aptitude on this same journey, same path that I've been on, this knowledge-seeking path, wanting to learn, wanting to do things, wanting to, being willing to fall down, being willing to hit my head, being willing to, get back up and do it with a smile on my face and be happy. And some people will look at you and kind of cry in their head. Dude, I don't want you to cry. Don't cry, damn it. If you've been the guy if you feel bad for me, first of all, for being the guy that got hit in the face with dirt, don't feel bad, because I'm out here balling out of control, being happy with what I'm doing in life right now. Even though I'm in a little camper and whatever, I take cold showers and under the hose, and I'm fucking, whatever, remember, I'm rocking out with Alienware computer. I got it out sitting outside. It's not that bad. I got a shirt on that I like. It's not even though, part trial and error, going through shit is part of the process of finding your way to success. Okay, now I might not have been able to get through to my mom, but I've been that determined to her. I even just said to her once, I'm like, Mom, you know what? I'm like, you think that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about so much? I bet you I can get 1 million people to fucking agree that I at least know a little bit, and she didn't even want to hear what I had to say, but I'm still on that challenge. I'm still trying the best I can, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna give up. Okay, I'm gonna build up, this ability that I have to try to, maybe my purpose could be, education as well. But I've always kind of been somebody that thought of education. I think education is a beautiful thing. But you know what? Fuck Walmart, yo. Fuck Walmart. You know why I say that? Because there's a lot of bullshit out there. And, I think that's important, too. That people wake the fuck up. So, there's another side of me that you're not seeing right now. It's the wild side. Now, I'll show you the wild side one day. But when you see it, when you see the wild side, it's going to be a lot different than this side of me. Alright? Now, as far as this goes right here, what you're seeing right now, this is me just trying to show you love. Alright? It's love through education. It's love through honesty. It's love through me trying to share with you what I know. Now, if you don't appreciate it or you don't like it, or if I didn't do a good job and there's some way I can improve, let me know. I'm always open to hearing what people have to say. And I mean, all I can do is the best I can do, and that's what I'm doing. So I suggest, my intention is to enable people to learn through me. The reason for that is because, I saw a lot of benefit in my own life from doing that, from learning from other people. And also, I've seen a lot of benefit in my life from trying not to make the same mistakes that I've seen some of the people that I know and love especially make. And I don't want y'all to have to go through that suffering. Matter of fact, I want y'all to succeed at whatever you're trying to do. and I want to succeed at what I'm trying to do too. So I mean, it's kind of like a communal balance. You know, everything happens in a balance of things, like yin and yang. You know, da da da, all that polarity. The world turns on an axis. You know, there's positive, negative axis. You know, it's all real. You know, and real. Believe it or not, you know, I know I sound confident in saying this, but believe it or not, that's how things work. You know, in this world too. Like, as much as I teach you, like, is as much as I get back. You know, and really, not just you in general, but everybody. Like Drake, you know, kind of opened people's eyes to the nastiness of relationships. So he got all the dirty girls. And I mean, you know, did he put in hard work and effort for that? Of course. He's got a lot of haters for that. Well, haters are proof of success. But, you know, regardless of what he did, he showed a lot of people, you know, he opened a lot of people's eyes to a certain aspect of something that I guess he knew about. Now, I don't know personally if that knowledge came from him, but if it didn't, he must have did some research to find it out, or, you know, somebody put him on. But I don't think things just get handed to people, to be honest. You know, chances are he did some work to figure out what he knew about relationships and what he talked about in his music. And as horrible as it may have sounded, you know, as bad as and nasty as some of his songs were, and you know, a lot of the music that came from YMCMB, you know, a lot of it, you know, taught people about a certain aspect of reality, which is, you know, dirty, bad relationships, nastiness, betrayal, you know, hatred, you know, all these things. And what it did is that it attracted two different types of people to him. It attracted the positive people that loved, that had experienced those same things himself, which are hopefully the people that will be attracted to me, same things that I experienced, they experience. You know, they'll come to me and say, "Damn, Dane, you're real," you know. And then you know, then there's the negative people, the haters. You know, the ones that come to him, or like on the opposite side, which is actually more like not even the haters, but more or less the dirty girls that you know, more or less kind of like, I can't say that they're haters, you know, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be the positive and negative. So he's going to attract whatever energy that it is that he put out worthwhile, whatever you know, people that he touched, you know, mentally, you know. And it might not have touched me, because me personally, I know I already have a little bit of knowledge, my own knowledge about, you know, relationships and how a lot of things work. And me right now, I'm more focused on a political aspect of a lot of things that go on in all reality, maybe in life, in later relationships, when people already have kids, when people have families already, when things go, you know, things really start to go, but not just the little girl shit where, you know, it's like a relationship, he likes me, I like him, you know, this or that, they date them, I date him, you know, they cheated, we cheated. No, I'm talking about, like, my focus is on more real shit, you know, like, you know, child custody matters, you know, child support, you know, things that break families up, things that you know, call it like real betrayals, you know, when you have, you know, things on, and I mean, there are guys out there that touched on it, like Eminem. You know, there's a lot of true, you know why Eminem had a lot of true heart fans? Because when he came on, when he spoke to people, you know, he touched them in a way that was, you know, very close to some very serious subjects. So me personally, you know, you know, I myself, I'm not saying I'm like Eminem or anything. Maybe I look, if I look like Eminem, cool, because I mean, a lot of girls seem to think he's cute, you know. Me personally, I don't know, whatever, but The way, yeah, maybe Eminem, you're cute, Eminem, you're cute, man, you're cute, man. You see that? You see that in my teeth? Still there, because I say a lot of things that I don't know what I'm saying. But, you know, the point of the matter is, you know, people talk on subjects, you know, it's going to hit in two different places. It's going to hit on the positive, it's going to hit on the negative. There's a polarity of every situation. There's a push and pull in everything. Everything you do in life has an effect. There's a reverberation of your actions that go off into the universe, into the world. Your actions even actually affect the whole universe itself, you personally. So you are a divine creature. In that, I mean, it is worth your time to look up in the sky and say thank you for life, because like you really can affect the whole entire universe with your actions, thoughts, words, deeds. That's why NASA exists. That's why, you know, there are men that made it to the moon. That's why there's, you know, whatever this is real shit here, okay? And me, I'm just communicating it to you in my own way, okay? Anyway, so, you know, I'm going to get positive, I'm going to get negative. I'm trying to accomplish my goals in life, trying to hit home on certain subjects with y'all, so that way, you know, you can kind of see a little bit what I'm about. Alright, anyway, y'all, I gotta get to sleep. It's getting late, 11:01. I know I gotta go to sleep, and I'm tired. No, I'm not really tired, but I'm gonna be out anyway. Peace, y'all. Much love.